Does making a commitment for one full year just seem like a really long time? Well, if you're trying to set New Year's resolutions and goals and things that you want to accomplish in a way you want to live for this next year, and you're getting a little defeated already, or it just seems like it's going to be tough to live by that for the whole year, then this episode's for you because we're going to break down a simple little shift that you can do to make your goal setting more effective, to make it more likely for you to achieve your goals, live your best life, and to live in a way that honors your values in a way that's manageable and not overwhelming. Then this episode's for you. If you want to stop letting your days slip away and start leading your life with intention and purpose to pursue your full potential, then you're in the right place, my friend. Welcome to the Claim Your Day podcast. I'm your host, Nick Mazey. Here, we stop just managing our demanding lives and begin to actively pursue our best lives, rooted in our values and purpose. Each week, we'll discuss practical strategies focused on becoming intentional with all that we do so we can live and lead well. Together, let's make today count. Hello, my friend, and welcome. Welcome to episode 70 of the Claim Your Day podcast. As always, I am glad you're here and joining in. And we're in a series right now. It's going to call it the Intentional Reset. Because we're toward the beginning of the year, when this episode and series first comes out, if you're listening to it when it does, it's the beginning of the year right now, and everyone's like setting goals and resolutions and all these things. But just because everybody does it in a certain way, like setting a New Year's resolution for the whole year, doesn't mean that it's actually the best way to do it, or it doesn't mean that you're really setting yourself up for success. And so when we set these big goals, it's always good to want to improve. But when we do it in a way that's not leading most likely to our success, then we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. And that's not what I want for you. It's not what I want for my life. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some things that I do that make it a whole lot easier to make progress, stay on track, achieve goals, continue to improve. You apply this to a whole lot of different areas for different benefits you want for your life. But when you do this, it just makes it a whole lot easier. Yeah, look, anytime you're trying to grow and improve, it's going to take work. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. So you got to get a little uncomfortable. You got to push yourself. It's got to be a challenge. But for crying out loud, don't make it harder on yourself than it really has to be. Improving, living with discipline, according to your values, that's hard work. So let's make it as manageable as possible. And that's what we're going to dive in. We're going to dive into something really simple in this episode. Now, this is the second part of this Intentional Reset series that we're doing. So if you missed the first one, make sure you go back and check it out. Because really, it lays the foundation. If you missed that episode, don't worry. Just keep listening to this one. You'll get something good out of it. But make sure you go back and check that first episode out. Episode 69, because it's all about a little bit of reflection. And majority of it is around John Maxwell saying that, we don't learn, experience is not the best teacher. We really don't learn from experience unless it's evaluated, unless we evaluate the experience. Evaluated experience is the best teacher, because then we're looking back to what we can learn from it, being intentional with our learning from that experience, and we're applying it going forward. Now, that's not the whole episode, so make sure you still listen to it if you did miss it. And subscribe so you don't miss any of these future ones. We still have a few more in this series. And if you've been around for a little bit, I love doing series. It's like normally 3, 4, or 5 episode series, because my episodes are short. That way you can just kind of keep it in a good bite size, and then you can stack them together, listen to a few if you want. All right. So what are we talking about? We're talking about setting these goals for a whole year, or setting a New Year's resolution, something like that. It makes it so difficult to actually follow through. Look, 12 months is a long time. Think about it. It's so long. And with people, there's statistics out there, like 90% of people have given up on their New Year's resolutions by the end of February, or it might even be sooner than that. So if you think about that for a moment, well, why don't we just shorten the time frame? Because look, if you had a 2-month goal and you stuck to it for 2 months, that's awesome, right? Like that's success right there. So it's a little bit of pulling the curtain back of what we're going to talk about. But that 12 months is just such a long time. So what if we shifted a little bit, shortened up the time frame? And that's what I'm going to show you in this episode, is that we can actually shorten up the time frame that we're looking at and setting shorter term goals. Shorter term goals that are aligned with our vision for our lives and our values. So it's not like they're just arbitrary short term goals. But when we focus on a shorter term goal, it's easier to get moving. It's easier to actually motivate ourselves. It's easier to stay on track. It's easier to be disciplined. It's easier to see that progress. It's easier to stack success after success because we're looking at a little shorter time frame. Like if it's 12 months away, if it's 12 months away for the whole year, there's a few different routes that this can take. One is, well, I have 12 more months, or right now, I have over 11 months to be able to accomplish that goal. So I don't need to get started right now. I have plenty of time. Well, if you ever done that, and I certainly have, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, it's getting to the holidays and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I haven't achieved my goal, and now, well, it's the holiday season, and there's too many other demands for my time, attention, and energy, and so it just goes unachieved, unfulfilled. Well, that's not very good. Now, then another route that it can take is, so that's if you're trying to accomplish something. But if you're trying to develop a habit, if you have a habit goal, then what can end up happening is, maybe you're in exercise and you're going to go 5 days a week. All right, a little ambitious, especially if you haven't been already going a number of days a week. But if you're going to do that, and then let's say you're in January, and hey, I'm going to do 5 days a week at the gym. Great. Well, by the time you're in that second week, you're thinking, golly, I got 50 more weeks of this. I got 2 weeks down. I got 50 more weeks of staying this level of disciplined. That is hard. I'm not going to be able to make it. And you can begin to you get a little self-defeating and sell yourself on this idea that you're not going to be able to make it for the rest of the year. So you might as well just go ahead and give up now. Well, that's not helpful. That's not going to help you to live the life you want to live and to live your best life and claim your day, make the most of it, because you're going to be talking yourself out of that long-term commitment. Now, I give those examples. I'm not going to go a slight little tangent. Yeah, if you have longer-term goals, if you have that life change that you want to be disciplined to maintain for forever, there are ways you can go about it by making smaller steps toward that, making small adjustments along the way. You still keep your big vision. But making those little adjustments and making smaller steps, that fits into exactly what we're going to talk about today. Today, I'm really promoting the 90-day sprint. 90 days, 1 quarter. It is awesome. It is awesome. Because think about it. If you have a goal that you want to achieve, let's say you've already, hey, you know what? This is January. You've already set your New Year's resolutions for some things that you want to achieve or how you want to live, some habits you want to develop. Awesome. Don't throw those away. Instead, put them into a 90-day time frame for how you want to stack this quarter, this 90 days, and you can stack it with the next one and the next one and build to the larger goals or the larger habit changes or life changes you want to make. But focus on the next 90 days, this first quarter of the year. See, when you do that, now all of a sudden, whatever you want to achieve, now, you're going to have to break down your big goals into smaller goals. Yeah, perfect. But when you focus on what you want to achieve in these next 90 days, and these next few months, it's just 1 quarter. When you focus on it, all of a sudden, it's not 12 months away. Or let's say now, it's not 11 months away, or 11 and a half. It's 2.5. Well, now all of a sudden, this creates a little bit of sense of urgency because you don't have a lot of extra time to just sit around, be lazy, and get to it later. You got to get on it. But the other side of it, so that's for an achievement style goal, something that you want to achieve. But if you have a habit style of goal, like if you're exercising on a regular basis, or maybe you're going to do something X number of times a week, whatever it is, if you have that habit goal, then the 90-day plan works great for that too, because you're not committing for the full 12 months. It's only 3 months. And shoot, if you're listening to this right now, it's less than 3 months. You can do it. You can do any habit for that short period of time, especially if it's a small habit. And I got some episodes on developing habits too. I did a whole series on it. So you can look that up while wherever you're listening to this. But this works for those 90-day sprints. All right. So now what's this really all based on? Well, John Maxwell, he's got a great, he calls it the law of design. It's about, maximizing your growth by developing the right strategies to help you to achieve them. One of the things, if you're designing this life for yourself, if you want to, claim your day, make the most of it, live according to your values, then you got to be intentional with that to be able to see, hey, how can I be a little bit strategic and design this? And one of the ways that's going to help you to design that life and to actually live it out is looking at your behaviors, your actions, your habits, and looking at them in a shorter time frame to make them more manageable. So while you're designing this life that you have, even this upcoming year, while you're doing that, look at your time frame at not being the full year. One quarter at a time, and they'll stack on top of each other. Another amazing thing about doing one quarter at a time, which is 90 days, is that what if you need to make a little adjustment? So if you set a goal for, this New Year's resolution for a year out, and 3-4 months in, you're like, oh golly, I need to make an adjustment to it. Well, now you kind of feel like you're giving up, like you're quitting, like you're a failure because you set that goal and you're just going to throw it away. When really it might just be that life happens and you need to make an adjustment to help you to be more successful and achieve even greater and to live a better life, for you, your family, what's most important to you. And when you look at designing 90-day blocks, then when you need to make an adjustment, you can once again evaluate the experience of the previous months and then plan the next few out in a way that's most beneficial and to really be able to live out and to make the most of it and to live your life how you want, according to your values and your goals. But if you're sticking to a commitment that you've made a year ago, it can make it very difficult to really make those adjustments. And you're always going to have to adjust. That's life. No one's got a crystal ball to know how things are going to work out perfectly. But these 90 days allows you to each quarter to do and design and reflect and a little bit on a shorter time, so it makes it more manageable, but it's going to allow you to be nimble and make those adjustments, course corrections along the way to help you to achieve what you want to achieve. So that first point is really that you've got to design your life and do it in a way that makes it manageable. And that's going to be through a 90-day strategy. All right. The second point is how you can help yourself to generate energy. This one's more from Brendon Burchard, and so he has the generating energy as a habit, and that is picking. And how you can use this is you can pick one big win. See, this is, I like using this a lot, where you don't have 94 different things that you have to accomplish, and they're all equally important. No, but if you select one big win. What's the major thing that you want to accomplish in these next 90 days? This next quarter, between January, February, and March, by the end of March. What's one of the major things that will be a big needle mover for you that's manageable, that you can actually do, and you're going to knock it out in these next 3 months? See, when you focus on that, then all of a sudden, it adds priority to it. You know that this is something important. And I'm going to go ahead and say, a great way to do this is to keep it in front of you. Keep it in front of you. I have a dry erase marker for my mirror in the bathroom. And so when I'm getting ready in the morning, when I first get up in the morning, I see what's important to me. I have little variations. Sometimes I use sticky notes, the dry erase marker. Sometimes, right now, I got both. I got a sticky note up on there for how I'm going to start my day. And then I have in a dry erase marker written in some of the key priorities for how I want to live my day and my life. I really don't have a methodology or a system on when it's a sticky note or when it is a dry erase marker. Sometimes I just flip back and around. Sometimes I just change it around just to make it so I look at it more and it's not sitting there as the exact same day after day. Now it does stay up there for weeks at a time, but I digress. Whatever works for you. A sticky note, a dry erase marker on your mirror is a great way for you to see it in the morning to keep you focused on what that big win is for this quarter. What is your big win for this quarter? Well, if you focus on that, this goes right into the third point. You focus on that big win for the quarter for you. then what you're going to end up doing is you're going to be able to focus on that because it's only 3 months. It's only 3 months. And if you listen to this episode and you're doing it for this first quarter, it's less than 3 months. So you can do it. So it's a short enough time frame for you to be able to commit to it and make it happen. And it's a short enough time frame that you can keep yourself and keep some momentum going. But what's really cool is since it is such a short time frame, you can stack each quarter on top of the next. And when you win these first 90 days with that big win that you just laid out for the first quarter, when you check that box, man, it is going to be awesome. You're going to develop what Darren Hardy calls the big mo, get some momentum going on. And then when you look at the second quarter and you're moving on to that, man, you are moving, you are rocking and rolling, and that is awesome. So you'll be able to develop that momentum and they'll stack on top. So by the time you're getting to that fourth quarter where you would be either have already given up on your New Year's resolution or feeling so defeated on it, or you're in this super scramble mode because you realize you have so much work to do if you even remember what that New Year's resolution was. But instead, you've stacked your momentum from quarter to quarter and you're going to be flying through, like just acing it when it comes down to that last quarter. And as I was just saying, another key part of why I'm going to push, looking at 90 days or a quarter at a time is that you'll remember what you're working on. Yeah, you'll have it on your mirror, on a sticky note, dry erase, whatever it is. Yes, you've designed it, so it's something that's really important to you. You've identified that big win. But when you're doing these at a quarter at a time, you don't have to sit there and try to think 10, 11 months ago what your motivation was for setting that goal. It's recent. So you can stack that momentum and you can keep it in the front of your mind by using these 90 days. Now, I know I bounced around between 90 days, quarter. In an episode or two ago, you heard me talk about the 12-week year. It's all the same thing. I don't have a proprietary way of referring to it. So if you hear me switch between those, forgive me. However it lands best for you, just run with it. All right. So that's it for this episode. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to challenge you. Go ahead and set your big win for this quarter. Go ahead and set your big win for this quarter. Another thing it'd be great for you to do is go ahead and subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any. I got a few more in this series coming up, this intentional reset series. It's all going to be about, focusing on what's important, narrowing our focus with all the noise around in this world. We got to be able to focus on our true priorities and to make some habits that stick so that you can move forward, and live that life that you want to live. So we got some more great episodes coming up just in this series, and make sure you go back and check out that first one if you missed it. You got to be able to evaluate your experience to make those best decisions going forward. All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Claim Your Day podcast. As always, you can go to nickmazy.com. We got some resources on there. I got the intentional choice guide, and claim your day. Claim your day, my friend. Make the absolute most of it. Living intentionally according to your values, what's most important to you, your life, your family, so that you can live that best life that you were created for. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Take care. I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode.